Welcome to this channel, Ancestral Folktales, where ancient wisdom meets timeless storytelling. Here, we breathe life into the rich, vibrant tales passed down through generations across Africa. From the clever tricks of Anansi the spider to the brave journeys of warrior queens, each story carries lessons, laughter, and the spirit of our ancestors. Let's start today's tale. 7-year-old Naomi had always admired her father, Pastor Elijah Brown, the leader of their small-town church. To her, he was a man of wisdom, kindness, and unwavering faith. But everything changed one evening when Naomi overheard harsh voices outside her bedroom window. Hidden behind the lace curtains, she saw two women arguing near the church entrance. "I won't stay silent anymore," one woman said, her voice shaking. "People need to know the truth about what he did." Naomi's heart pounded. Who were they talking about? And what was this truth they spoke of? She wanted to forget what she heard, but the seed of doubt had been planted in her young mind. The next morning, Naomi tried to ignore the uneasy feeling in her chest. But when she saw the same woman from the night before sitting in the church, staring intently at her father during the sermon, she knew this was not a misunderstanding. Something was wrong, and she had to find out what. Determined to uncover the truth, Naomi searched through her father's old study room one afternoon while he was away visiting a sick church member. Her mother was busy preparing dinner, unaware of her daughter's quiet movements. Behind a row of dusty books, Naomi's small fingers brushed against a bundle of age letters wrapped in a red ribbon. With hesitant hands, she pulled them out and began reading. The words inside sent a chill down her spine. "You said you loved me. You promised. But now you pretend I don't exist. I was just a child, and you took everything from me." The letter was signed by someone named Sarah. Naomi's head swam with confusion. Who was Sarah? And why did she write this to her father? She barely had time to hide the letters before her mother called her for dinner. But the words burned in her mind. The man she called Papa might not be the man she thought he was. For days, Naomi wrestled with the discovery. Could this be a mistake? Maybe someone had written these letters in anger. But the doubt lingered, poisoning every moment she spent with her father. One evening, after gathering all her courage, Naomi decided to ask him. She found him in the living room, reading his Bible. "Papa," she whispered, "who is Sarah?" The reaction was immediate. Her father's face drained of color, his hands trembling as he closed the book. "Where did you hear that name?" His voice was unusually sharp. Naomi hesitated, then pointed to the study. "I found the letters." Pastor Elijah stood up abruptly. "You had no right to go through my things." His voice was harsh, unlike anything Naomi had ever heard before. Tears welled in her eyes. "I just want to know the truth." But instead of answering, her father stormed out of the room, leaving Naomi alone with the fear that she had uncovered something truly terrible. The atmosphere in the house changed overnight. Her father barely spoke to her, and her mother seemed tense, as if she sensed something was wrong but was too afraid to ask. Naomi felt trapped, unable to share what she knew with anyone. One Sunday after church, Naomi noticed the same woman from before, Sarah, waiting outside. Naomi hesitated, then cautiously approached her. "You knew my father, didn't you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sarah studied her for a long moment before nodding. "Yes. A long time ago, before he became the man you know today." Naomi's heart pounded. "What did he do?" Sarah sighed. "That's not something a child should have to carry. But you deserve the truth." What Sarah revealed shattered Naomi's world, stories of manipulation, broken trust, and the pain that her father had caused to young girls who once trusted him. Naomi walked home in silence, her mind a storm of emotions. How could her father, the man who preached about love and righteousness, be guilty of such things? And if she told anyone, what would happen to their family? At dinner, Naomi barely touched her food. Her mother noticed. "Are you feeling all right, sweetie?" Naomi looked at her father, who was avoiding her gaze. "Just tired," she mumbled. She lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. Was it better to keep the secret buried, or did the truth deserve to come out? And if she spoke up, would anyone even believe her? The next Sunday, Naomi sat in the front row as her father preached about honesty and redemption. His words felt hollow now. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. As the service ended, she stood up. "Papa, you always say that God wants us to tell the truth," she said loudly. "So why are you hiding yours?" The congregation turned to her, confused murmurs filling the room. Pastor Elijah stiffened, his face pale. "Naomi, sit down," he commanded. But she didn't. Instead, she turned to Sarah, who had entered the church quietly. "Tell them," Naomi said. Sarah stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "Your pastor has a past he's never confessed. A past that hurt many of us." Gasps filled the room. Naomi's father buried his face in his hands. The fallout was immediate. The congregation was divided. Some stood by Pastor Elijah, believing he had changed, while others demanded accountability. Naomi's mother wept for days, while her father locked himself in his study, refusing to speak. Naomi felt a deep sorrow, but also relief. The truth was no longer hidden in shadows. One evening, her father finally emerged, looking exhausted and broken. He knelt before Naomi. "I failed you," he whispered. "But I want to make it right." Naomi didn't know if her father could ever undo the past, but she knew that redemption wasn't about erasing mistakes, it was about facing them. And that, she decided, was what truly mattered. The moral lesson of this story is that truth, no matter how painful, must come to light for healing and redemption to take place. The story also teaches that keeping secrets to protect a reputation can cause more harm than good. That's the end of our story. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.